Hello everyone, welcome to Pabbly. So in this video we are going to learn how to sync webinar attendees from Google Sheets to Salesforce CRM. So I run an event management company where I want to create lead in Salesforce for new attendees. So here my objective is, as soon as I receive details of my new attendees in my Google Sheet, I am going to create lead in Salesforce. So for connecting these both applications, I am going to use an amazing automation tool, that is Pabbly Connect. So if you also want to build this automation, then let me take you towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So in this video, I am going to show you how you can log your webinar attendees to the Salesforce by creating a contact from the Google Sheet. So here you can see in my screen, I have integrated two applications, that is Google Sheets and Salesforce. Now, as soon as I will receive a new attendee over my Google Sheet from the form which I have created for getting my attendees, a new contact will be created over the Salesforce. So now I am going to show you how you can build this automation for your own business. But before that, I'm going to show you the real working of this automation. So for that, let's move on to the form which I have already created. So here you can see this is the form I have created named as webinar registration form, where I'm going to fill these data and get the response over my Google Sheet, as these both are the native integrations of each other. So now I'm going to fill this form providing my full name as smart user, and afterwards I'm going to enter my email address as smartuser@pabblytudes.com, and afterwards I'm going to enter my phone number. So here I have entered my phone number as well, and afterwards I'm going to select my webinar topic as sales growth strategies, and now I'm going to select my preferred session date as 17th of October 2025. Now I'm going to simply click over the submit button, and here you can see our form has been successfully submitted. So here you can see in my Google Sheet I am successfully receiving the data which I have recently entered over my form. Now let's move on to my Salesforce account to check whether we are receiving the response over there or not. So here you can see in my Salesforce account, I am landed to this page, that is contacts, and on this page you can see I am successfully receiving this lead having the name, that is smart user, and here you can see its detail, that is here I have provided the title same as my webinar topic, and here I have provided the mobile number and email, that is smartuser@pabblytudes.com. So here you can see the automation I have built in is successfully working. So now I am going to show you how you can build this amazing automation for your own business. So for building this automation, you just have to access Pabbly Connect, and for accessing the Pabbly Connect, you just have to type its URL over the new tab, that is pabbly.com/connect, and once you will enter the URL, you will be getting the landing page of Pabbly, and here you can see we are getting two options, that is sign in and sign up free. So if you are a new user, you can simply click over this sign up free, but if you are an existing user, you can simply click over this sign in, and if you sign up your account for free over the Pabbly Connect, you get 100 free tasks every month for practicing Pabbly Connect. But before moving on forward, I am going to tell you about Pabbly Community. So here you can see this is the page of Pabbly Community, where automation users, marketers and business owners gather to share their ideas, ask questions and get relevant update regarding using the Pabbly applications. So you can also join Pabbly Community now and grow your business with us. And if you wish to join the Pabbly Community, you can find link in the description given below. So now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect again, and here I am going to simply click over this sign in, and as you finish your sign up, you will be getting this all Pabbly apps page where you can see the products provided by Pabbly. So here we are going to use this product, that is Pabbly Connect, which can integrate different applications and start automating your work. So for automating our this task, we have to access Pabbly Connect by just clicking on this access now button, and we will be landed to the dashboard page of Pabbly Connect, which can be seen here. And on this dashboard page, you can see these are the folders I have created, and inside these folders I have created my workflows. So if you also want to create your own folder, you simply have to click over this create a new folder button, and here you have to provide the folder name, and if you want, you can select the parent folder as well, and afterwards you just have to click over this create button and your folder will be created. Now I'm going to create a workflow. So for that, you simply have to click over this create workflow button, and you will be getting the option for selecting the workflow builder. So here we are getting two workflow builder, that is beta, which is modern, faster and more flexible, and another workflow builder we are getting is classic, which will provide you stable and familiar approach. So here I'm going to use this newly launched workflow builder beta. So for that you simply have to click over the select button, and here you will be getting the option for selecting the workflow name. So now I'm going to provide a name to my workflow here. So here I'm providing it the name create contact in Salesforce for new attendees, and afterwards I'm going to select my folder as automation. Now we simply have to click over this create button, and here you can see we are receiving this pop-up which says workflow created successfully, and we are landed to a workflow page. And on this workflow page you can see we are getting the option for adding the trigger. So now you might be wondering what is this trigger. So trigger is basically the first application or the application which is going to initiate a workflow, and we can have only one trigger app, and in this case I want to initiate my workflow as soon as I receive a new attendee over my Google Sheet. So here I am going to select my trigger app as Google Sheet. So for that you simply have to click over this add trigger button, and here you will be landed to this trigger setup page where I am going to select my trigger app as Google Sheet, which can be seen here, and afterwards I am going to select my app event as new or updated spreadsheet row. Now we simply have to click over this connect button, and here you can see we are receiving this webhook URL with the steps for pasting this webhook URL. So this webhook URL is going to act as a bridge between Google Sheet and Pabbly Connect for building the connection. So now let's copy this webhook URL. So now let's move on to my Google form, which is the native integration of Google Sheets. So here you can see this is the Google form I have created, and here you just have to go to responses, and here you can see we are getting this option of view in Sheets. So you just have to select it, and you will be getting the Google Sheet, which is the native integration of your own Google form. And here you can see we are receiving the field that is full name, address, phone number, webinar topic, and preferred session date. So this is the Google Sheet where I am going to paste the webhook URL which I have recently received from a Pabbly Connect. So now let's move on to Pabbly Connect, and here I am going to just copy this webhook URL, and now let's move on to the Google Sheet, and here you just have to go to extensions, and afterwards you just have to go to add-ons, and here you can see we are getting the option for get add-ons. So you just have to select it, and you will be landed to this Google Workspace Marketplace where you have to search for the Pabbly Connect webhook. So now let's type Pabbly Connect webhook, which can be seen here, and here you can see we are getting this integration named as Pabbly Connect webhooks. So you firstly have to install it, and here it is already installed. So now let's move on to extensions again, and here you can see I'm getting this option for Pabbly Connect webhook. So you just have to select it, and afterwards you just have to go to the initial setup, and you will be getting the initial setup dialog box, which can be seen here. And on this initial setup dialog box we are getting the first option for entering the webhook URL. So this is the place where you have to paste the webhook URL which you have recently received from a Pabbly Connect. So now let's paste the webhook URL, and here you can see I have entered my webhook URL, and afterwards it is asking me to enter the trigger column. So trigger column is basically the last data column of the Google Sheet, and as I want to receive the data of every column of my Google Sheet, I will be entering the last data column, that is F. So here I'm going to enter my trigger column as F. So here you can see I have entered it. Now we simply have to click over this submit button, and here you can see we are receiving this message which says setup configured successfully. So now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect again, and here you can see it is waiting for the webhook response. So for providing the webhook response we have to do the test submission, and for doing the test submission we have to get the data in the Google Sheet, and for getting the data in the Google Sheet we have to fill our form. So now let's move on to my form and fill that. So here you can see this is my form, that is webinar registration form, and again I am going to fill this form. So the first field I am getting is for entering the full name. So here I am going to provide my full name as demo user. So now let's type it, and here you can see I have provided my full name, and afterwards we are getting the field for entering the email. So now I am going to enter my email address as demouser@pabblytunes.com. So here you can see I have provided my email address as well. Now I am going to enter my phone number again. So here I am going to just type my phone number, and afterwards I am going to select my webinar topic as marketing automation, and afterwards I am going to select my preferred session date as 18th of October 2025. Now we simply have to click over the submit button for submitting our form, and here you can see we have successfully submitted our form. Now let's move on to my Google Sheet to check whether we are receiving the data over there or not. So here you can see in my Google Sheet I am successfully receiving the data which I have recently entered over my Google form. Now we simply have to click over the send test for sending the test data to the Pabbly Connect, and here you can see we are getting this message which says test data sent successfully. So here you can see our test data has been sent successfully. Now let's move on to extensions again, and here on my Pabbly Connect webhooks I am getting this option for send on event. So you just have to enable it so that you can get the responses as the new responses arrive, and you don't have to enter the values again and again. So here I have enabled my send on event. Now let's move on to my Pabbly Connect to check whether we are receiving the response over there or not. So here you can see I'm successfully receiving this response, that is response A, with all the details which I have recently entered over my Google form. So with this we are done with our trigger setup. Now we just have to set up our action app. So for that you simply have to click over this add new action step button and you will be landed to this action setup page where I am going to search for the Salesforce, as I am going to select it as my trigger app. So as I have typed it, I am getting this application, that is Salesforce. So I am going to select it, and afterwards I am going to select my app event as create contact, as I am going to create a contact over Salesforce. Now we simply have to click over this connect button and here we are landed to the Salesforce connection page. So if you already have an existing connection, you can simply use this, that is select existing connection, and if you want to build a new connection, you can simply click over this add new connection button and here you have to simply click over this connect with Salesforce, and here you have to allow the access. So here I am going to simply click over this allow, as I am going to provide the access to my Pabbly, and no worries, your data is safe with Pabbly. And here you can see our connection has been created successfully, and here we are getting some of the fields. So now I am going to map all these fields. Now you might be thinking, what is this mapping? So mapping is basically inserting the data from the previous step so that you don't have to enter your values again and again, as mapping makes the field dynamic. So I am going to map all these fields from the responses which I am receiving from my Google Sheet, as Google Sheet is my previous step or my previous application. And the process of mapping is simple. You simply have to select the field which you want to map, and afterwards you just have to select the application from where you are receiving the data. So here you can see the first field we are getting is for entering the first name, but this field is not necessary, so I am going to leave it blank. And the next field we are getting is for last name, which is necessary, but in spite of last name I am going to map the full name. So here I am going to map it from the response of the Google Sheet. Now let's search for the name or the full name. So here you can see I am getting my full name, so I am going to map it, and afterwards I am going to map the email address. So now let's search for the email which can be seen here, and afterwards I am going to map my mobile phone number here. So now let's search for the phone number, and here you can see I am getting my phone number, so I am going to map it as well. And here I am going to map my title as well. So in the title I am going to map the webinar topic, so I am going to map it in my titles. So with this we are done with our all necessary fields. Now we simply have to click over the save and send test request, and here you can see we are receiving a positive response which demonstrate that we might have built in the connection. So now let's move on to my Salesforce account to check whether we are receiving the response over there or not. So here you can see in my Salesforce account I am going to select this page, that is contact, as I have created a new contact in my Salesforce account. And here you can see I am successfully receiving this lead which I have recently entered over my Pabbly Connect, and here you can see its detail, that is having the name demo user, and its title is marketing automation, which we have recently mapped in our Pabbly Connect. And here you can see its email and the phone number also. So here you can see I have successfully built in this automation, and in this video you have seen that I have built in this automation without even a single word coding. So you can also build this amazing automation by using Pabbly Connect for enhancing your own business. So what are you waiting for? Start using Pabbly Connect now and stay tuned to our YouTube channel for learning more about Pabbly and creating many more amazing automations and integrations like this. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe our channel. And if you want to practice this workflow, you can find its link in the description given below. And if you have any doubt, you can post it over the comment section. So thank you for watching this video. Not only this automation, you can build many more integrations like this by just using Pabbly Connect. So if you have any doubt, you can mail us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, you can post it over the forums.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, then you can visit the URL given over here. So start using Pabbly Connect for free now.